Have you ever been totally surprised by someone? Maybe they seemed pretty unassuming, but then when push came to shove, they showed this incredible strength you just didn't expect.
Oh, absolutely. That hidden depth.
Exactly. And we're diving into that today because, well, you shared some fascinating material for this deep dive. It's translated excerpts from a Thai YouTube video.
Hmm.
Now, don't worry about the language barrier. We'll guide you through it. The story itself is just wow. The title kind of gives it away. See, na 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 gan samana han samana dan sama.
Hold on. Don't get.
Which translates roughly to being just an ordinary girl, but making the officials of the royal family feel ashamed because they cannot compare.
Powerful stuff already, right?
Definitely. And what hits you immediately is the setup. It feels very much like historical drama. You've got political maneuvering, intrigue, and it seems a huge betrayal right at the start.
Yeah. But the hook is this idea of someone seemingly, well, ordinary, who manages to completely outshine the powerful people around her. It's more than just an underdog story. There's a real sense of maybe calculated revenge brewing.
I think so, too. And that's really our mission here, isn't it? To figure out those key moments where this ordinary girl will come to know her as Yu Qinghe just flips the script.
Right. Where does she confound expectation?
Yeah, what are the turning points? And maybe what are the deeper themes here about power, perception, how we judge people, and maybe, like you said, revenge?
Okay, so the narrative just throws us right in. Intense stuff. Yu Qinghe is apparently facing her execution.
Right away. Wow.
Yeah. And she's addressing the emperor using the term kuramane, and she's not holding back. Serious accusation.
Okay.
It plunges you straight into the political machinery.
Yeah.
And it really highlights how, individual sacrifices are often just demanded for the greater good of politics.
Right.
We see that a lot in these kinds of stories.
Serious feels like an understatement. She actually lists the reasons she supposedly deserves to die, but every single one is a massive personal sacrifice she made for him, for the emperor's political gain. Like, listen to this. Kneeling for 3 days and nights just to get an alliance with some general kin.
3 days.
Yeah. And then single-handedly getting the Zhang army to back off even after getting shot with 2 arrows.
Incredible.
And this is just horrifying. Being forced to give her unborn child, 7 months pregnant, to the empress, supposedly as some kind of tonic.
That detail is just brutal. It really shows the sheer cost of power in this court. It's not just politics. It's the devastating personal price people pay.
Her commitment was absolute, wasn't it? And yet
the reward, poison and a death sentence.
Well, apparently.
Ordered by someone named Xiao Xuanchen.
A complete betrayal. But here's where it gets really interesting. Even facing death, she insists she could have done more for the emperor. Even bear him a son.
Right. What does that tell you? Even in that moment.
Yeah. What does that ambition suggest? Does she still think she can play the game?
It suggests she has this incredibly strategic mind. Even then, she knows what matters in that world. Alliances, armies, heirs, the imperial bloodline. So her saying that, even if it's futile right then, shows she understands the currency of power. And then there's mention of the auspicious time for succession arriving.
Ah, the ritualistic side of it.
Exactly. It emphasizes the importance of legitimacy, of lineage. It's all very calculated.
And in that moment, the emperor just orders his favorite concubine to replace her, like she was nothing.
The ultimate dismissal.
Her last words in that scene, they're chilling. Regret for loving the wrong person, and this vow of revenge against Xiao Xuanchen in the next life. Seems pretty final.
Seems final. But then the story pulls a fast one.
Right.
We see Yu Qinghe apparently reborn.
Yeah.
3 years earlier, before the whole arranged marriage to Xiao Xuanchen even happened.
Okay, so this changes everything. It's not a tragedy anymore.
Exactly. It's a second chance. A chance for that revenge, she vowed. A chance to challenge the system that crushed her.
And this time, the ordinary girl makes some very unordinary choices. The emperor offers marriage to various princes, the 3rd, 7th, 9th.
Standard procedure, securing alliances through marriage.
But she refuses them all. Boldly. And her reason, it's not another prince. It's this powerful female general she admires.
Wei Jingyuan. Yeah, that's a radical shift, isn't it?
Totally. What does that tell us about her mindset now?
It shows she's completely changed her ambition. She's not looking for status through marriage anymore. She's looking at Wei Jingyuan, this unmarried woman who excelled in war, a man's domain, as her model.
A role model outside the usual court structure.
Precisely. She wants to break free, forge her own path, focus on, expanding the empire, not just marrying into power.
And this Wei Yu sounds amazing. Unmarried, fought like a man, undefeated, achievements surpassing men. So Yu Qinghe declares that's her goal now. Expand the Daliang Empire, forget marriage.
And the emperor, how does he react?
Well, apparently he initially approves, but then revokes the arranged marriage to Xiao Xuanchen. It feels like the court is maybe intrigued or just confused by this woman's ambition.
It reflects that tension, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Between tradition and the potential benefit of this unusual talent. He's interested, but disrupting the social order, that probably makes him hesitate.
But her past life connections are still there. Xiao Xuanchen, the guy she swore revenge on, he's understandably skeptical of this new Yu Qinghe, especially her sudden claim of archery skills.
Right, because in her first life, she was a political piece, not a warrior.
Exactly. Now she says she's good with a bow, but learned just by watching. No formal training.
Okay, that immediately raises questions.
Yeah.
Is it a hidden talent she always had? Or something she frantically learned in this second chance, fueled by revenge?
She seems confident, willing to demonstrate. But the lack of training is suspicious.
Definitely creates a bit of mystery around her.
And the demonstration is pure drama. Prince Huai, the seventh prince, sets up this challenge, hitting a pair from only 3 feet away, but while riding a horse.
That sounds incredibly difficult. Especially for someone supposedly self-taught by observation. Seems like a setup for failure.
A public humiliation waiting to happen. But she accepts. Confidently. What does that say about her now?
It says she's transformed. The sacrificial lamb is gone. This Yu Qinghe has confidence, maybe even arrogance. She's willing to take huge risks.
Either she's genuinely skilled or she's an amazing bluffer. And she pulls it off, shoots the pair while a guard is holding it on horseback.
Wow, okay, that's astonishing accuracy under pressure.
The reaction is just what you'd expect. Prince Huai is stunned. The emperor praises her, even throws shade at his other princes for lacking her courage.
So a definite shift in perception there.
But then someone asks about her teacher, and there's this pointed mention of learning archery tomorrow, which, yeah, that doesn't line up.
So the timeline is questioned. That definitely fuels the suspicion. The emperor's praise might be genuine, but that detail about tomorrow, it suggests disbelief, maybe a hint of deeper intrigue.
And Yu Qinghe just sticks to her story learned by observation. Xiao Xuanchen and Prince Ju aren't buying it.
It deepens the mystery. Is she being clever, hiding her true training? Or is this insistence on an unlikely story a weakness they can exploit?
It leaves room for doubt, keeps everyone guessing.
For sure. If they can disprove her claim, her newfound status could crumble.
And the tension keeps building. Another archery demonstration. This time, an arrow from Yu Qinghe seems to veer towards Prince Huai, maybe accidentally.
Oh boy.
He immediately shouts, "Attempted murder." She denies it, says he just misjudged her aim. Accident or something else.
That ambiguity is crucial, isn't it? Could be a genuine mistake given her supposed training. Or remembering that revenge vow. Maybe it was a deliberate warning shot, testing the limits.
And then another twist. Wei Jingyuan, addressed as Kana, steps in.
Wei Jingyuan again. Okay.
He backs her up, says she hit the pair target earlier. Now, he's known for martial arts, but also for being kind of neutral politically. His support is significant.
That is interesting. Why would a neutral figure like him get involved? Unless he's not so neutral after all. Maybe he sees potential in her, or maybe her survival suits his own hidden goals for now.
His backing is crucial at that moment.
Definitely. It lends her credibility when she needs it most.
And the Emperor's reaction. Despite the near miss, he seems more impressed than worried. He appoints her governor of Changning, gives her 1,000 taels of silver.
Governor. Wow. That's real power, real resources.
Incredible turnaround, right? From execution to governor. He even says he'll arrange a marriage for her later.
So he sees her ambition and skill as assets, maybe, even if she's unconventional. But the marriage comment, still thinking within the traditional box, perhaps.
But then the story takes a much darker turn. Yu Qinghe seeks out Wei Jingyuan, not at court, but in the prison of the Shadow Dragon Army.
Ominous name.
Yeah, definitely not a social visit. And what she finds is chilling. Wei Jingyuan describes, almost casually, the 72 forms of torture he invented, including live skinning.
Ugh, okay, that's graphic. What's the purpose of telling her that?
Intimidation, testing her nerve, establishing dominance. It's a stark reminder of the brutality just beneath the surface of this court.
And it reveals a really sadistic side to Wei Jingyuan. It also highlights the extreme danger she's in. constantly.
And he's immediately suspicious of her. Asks if she's even the real Yu family daughter. Points out her knowledge, her calmness facing his horror stories.
So he sees through the facade.
He even mentions rumors of human skin masks from Zilong, suggesting she could be an imposter.
Wow. Skin masks. That adds a whole other layer of grotesque possibility. He's sharp, clearly trying to figure out her game.
And then comes the offer. Wei Jingyuan says he'll let her live if she keeps targeting Prince Huai.
Ah, there it is. His agenda. He's using her.
Totally. He admits loyalty only to the emperor, doesn't care about the princes. It paints a picture of a court where only the emperor and his direct tools matter. Everyone else is disposable.
So Wei Jingyuan isn't neutral at all. He's a player, using her as a pawn.
But what's really confusing is, why did he stop her arrow earlier, the one aimed near Prince Huai?
Good question. What does he say?
His explanation. He didn't want her to die yet, because she's interesting.
Interesting. Like she's his entertainment. That's twisted.
It sounds like it, but maybe there's more. Maybe he sees her as a tool he hasn't finished using yet. Keeping her alive serves his purpose, whatever that is.
Could be. His amusement might just be a cover for a deeper strategy. He wants to see how her story plays out, how it benefits him.
The encounter ends with him giving her this cryptic instruction. Stay alive. Exact your revenge, implying he'll still be involved somehow.
It's a chilling dynamic, an alliance of convenience built on manipulation and self-interest. Very unstable, very dangerous.
Okay, then the story jumps ahead. Wei Jingyuan is at the new emperor's ascension, so big changes have happened.
Right, political upheaval confirmed.
Wei Jingyuan even survives an assassination attempt himself. Shows how precarious his position is, even with power.
He's definitely a target.
Then Yu Qinghe gets back to her family, and it is not a happy reunion. She immediately clashes with her younger sister, Yu Rulan. It gets physical, a slap, accusations.
So court intrigue isn't her only problem. Family drama, too.
And the mother clearly favors the younger sister, Yu Rulan. Then the father gets angry because Yu Qinghe rejected the marriage deal earlier.
Of course, disrupting the family's plans.
The mother suggests smoothing things over with ginseng soup for the father. Seems normal enough.
But
Yu Qinghe's internal thoughts are dark. She's thinking about her mother's death, wanting revenge, hinting she suspects foul play within the family.
wow. Okay, so her quest for revenge might be much broader than just Xiao Xuanchen and the court. It could involve her own relatives. That complicates things immensely.
And that ginseng soup. It becomes the next flashpoint. It's meant for the father, but someone discovers it's poisoned.
Poison inside the family home.
Yeah. And who gets blamed immediately?
Let me guess. Yu Qinghe.
Of course. Despite her denying it, it forces her to fight battles on multiple fronts. Now court politics and danger right in her own house.
The treachery is everywhere, isn't it? No safe haven.
And the testimony is messy. Servants say Yu Rulan told them about the soup prep. But Yu Qinghe says Rulan stole her idea to make the soup in the first place.
He said, she said, with potentially deadly results.
Then Yu Rulan puts on this big show of being caring, offering to make soup for their father herself. Very convincing.
Classic manipulation. Makes it hard to know who to believe.
Enter Nanny Long. Her testimony is key. First, she says Yu Rulan ordered the poisoning.
Okay. See, it's clear then.
But then she completely flips, recants, points the finger straight at Yu Qinghe.
What? Why would she change her story like that?
Well, Yu Qinghe, sharp as ever, questions the inconsistency, and then she just casually mentions Nanny Long's 5-year-old grandson.
Ah, a veiled threat. Coercion.
Seems like it. Using family to control people. Ruthless.
That explains the flip-flop. Nanny Long is being pressured.
So, under pressure, Nanny Long changes her story again. Now she says, yes, she poisoned the soup, but on Yu Qinghe's order.
This is getting confusing. Does Yu Qinghe have proof otherwise?
She demands it. And that leads to the breakthrough. The rest of the poison is found hidden by Yu Rulan.
Got her. The physical evidence.
Exactly. Seems like Yu Qinghe's intelligence is starting to unravel the plots against her. Everyone underestimated the ordinary girl.
So Rulan's caught red-handed? What happens?
She pleads, tries to blame Yu Qinghe again, but then another surprise, the mother condemns Rulan's actions and seems to forgive Yu Qinghe.
The mother switches sides. Why?
Maybe she finally sees Yu Qinghe's strength, or maybe it's just pragmatic siding with the daughter who clearly has more influence now. Could be a significant shift in family dynamics.
Definitely something to watch.
And just as this family storm seems to be settling, guess who walks in?
Don't tell me. Wei Jingyuan.
You got it. Unexpected arrival, dripping sarcasm about the Yu family's embarrassing affairs. He even mentions Nanny Long's punishment is underway.
He just enjoys stirring the pot, doesn't he? His timing is impeccable, always showing up when things are most chaotic.
Then he gets to the point. Announces the Empress Dowager's birthday banquet. And says the governor of Changning, Yu Qinghe, is invited.
Ah. So her new status is getting official recognition at the highest level.
And Wei Jingyuan adds this little comment about wanting to see Minister Yu's beautiful daughter, leaving it totally ambiguous which sister he means.
Playing them against each other. He definitely anticipates more drama at that banquet.
Yu Rulan, completely missing the danger, is all eager to escort him back to his prison like it's an honor.
She really doesn't get him at all, does she?
Nope. But she's told no. Yu Qinghe will escort him. Another small sign of Yu Qinghe's rising status, and it sets up another private chat between them.
Okay, what happens this time?
Yu Qinghe confronts him directly, asks why he's helping her. His answer is disturbingly honest.
Oh.
He says it's for his own amusement, and he'll target anyone who gets in the way of her revenge. He's basically admitting he's using her for entertainment and to advance his own unclear goals.
Wow. At least he's upfront about being self-serving. No pretense of friendship.
Right, it clarifies their transactional relationship, however creepy it is.
But how does she take that?
Interestingly, she seems to interpret it as him being personally interested in her. Maybe romantically.
Uh-oh. Misreading his intentions could be dangerous. His fascination seems more predatory than affectionate.
Exactly. And he immediately proves it, makes this horrifying comment about being curious about her skin, how it would sound being skinned.
Good grief. Okay, any illusions of romance shattered right there.
Yeah.
Stark reminder of his sadism and the danger she's constantly in, even from her helper.
Yeah, chilling stuff. I was scene change. The Empress Dowager's birthday banquet. High stakes. Both sisters are there.
Let the games begin.
Yu Rulan tries to make a splash by arriving late, but it backfires. The Empress Dowager is already annoyed because Yu Qinghe is also late.
So Rulan's attempt at drama just looks petty compared to the real power plays happening.
And who smooths things over for Yu Qinghe's lateness?
Wei Jingyuan.
Of course. Then come the expected performances. Yu Rulan is ready with her music piece. But the Empress Dowager seems kind of dismissive towards Yu Qinghe, yet still demands she perform too.
Setting her up, testing her, trying to humiliate her maybe.
Feels like it, but Yu Qinghe refuses to dance, says she lacks the skill, which naturally angers the Empress Dowager.
Refusing a direct command, that's bold. A subtle defiance maybe. Redirecting attention from traditional female arts to her.
Right here.
Other skills.
And who jumps in then? The Crown Prince. Suggests her real talent is archery.
The Crown Prince again. Is he helping her? Or does he want to see her skills put to the test publicly? Maybe gauge her loyalty or threat level?
Hard to tell his motive, but the Empress Dowager is intrigued, demands an archery demonstration.
Okay, here we go again.
Yu Qinghe agrees, but adds a condition. Prince Wei has to prepare the target.
Ooh, nice move. Puts him in an awkward spot, forces him to participate in displaying her skill.
Prince Wei tries to regain control, ups the ante, says forget target practice, let's have a duel with another archer.
A duel. Even with blunted arrows, that's risky. Humiliating if she loses or gets hit.
Prince Ju voices concern, but Huai waves it off. Arrowheads are removed.
Superficial safety. It's still an intimidation tactic.
The Crown Prince actually points out that even blunt arrows hurt, and frames it as a test of her battlefield spirit. He seems aware of the undercurrents.
Definitely testing her resolve now. Pushing her.
The Empress Dowager tells the male archer to go easy, avoid her face, but Yu Qinghe asks to change the location, maybe for safety, maybe tactically.
Could be either. She's thinking strategically about the setup.
The Empress Dowager agrees, assures her no blame for accidents, and then Wei Jingyuan pipes up.
Let me guess. Something bloodthirsty.
You know it. Asks why use blunt arrows. He'd prefer real ones. Wants bloodshed. He's just loving the potential chaos.
He really heightens the tension, doesn't he? Reminds everyone of the violence simmering just below the surface.
So the duel starts. Prince Wei throws some taunts her way. And then Yu Qinghe does something shocking. She doesn't dodge his arrow, just stands there and seems to accept the hit.
Whoa, why? Fearlessness. A calculated risk, making herself look vulnerable.
It's dramatic. The Empress Dowager shouts for the archer to stop. But Yu Qinghe seizes the moment, says, hey, if it was okay for me to get hit, it's okay for me to shoot back.
Brilliant. Using the attack against her as justification.
And she shoots a perfect shot, seemingly aimed right at Prince Wei.
She turned the tables completely. Showed resilience and skill. Stunning move.
Chaos. Empress Dowager immediately screams, attempted murder.
Of course she does. Default reaction.
The Crown Prince tries to suggest it was an accident. Empress Dowager isn't buying it, demands her arrest.
Shows how precarious her position still is. The court's divided.
Yu Qinghe defends herself, cleverly points to her earlier pear shot. Says if she could hit that, she wouldn't intentionally miss now.
Good point. Logical.
Doesn't matter. Empress Dowager threatens torture to get a confession. Forgets her earlier promise of fairness completely.
Exposes her true nature. Abuse of power.
Then Wei Jingyuan throws another grenade. Admits he asked for real arrows.
What?
Yeah. Says he's disappointed there wasn't more bloodshed. Wishes Huai had been hurt. Then offers to take Yu Qinghe to his lovely prison for questioning.
That's terrifying. Is he helping or threatening her?
The Empress Dowager agrees immediately. But then, the biggest twist yet.
Oh, on.
Wei Jingyuan turns on the Empress Dowager, accuses her of wanting Yu Qinghe dead too, since real arrows were involved.
Whoa. Accusing the Empress Dowager directly. That's huge. Shifting the blame, creating chaos. Pure Wei Jingyuan.
The Empress Dowager is visibly shaken. Wei Jingyuan makes some veiled threat about a past incident. Her whole demeanor changes. She dismisses everyone.
So he backed her down.
Seems like it. But her internal thoughts show she knows Yu Qinghe is dangerous now, and she still wants to control her, maybe use her later.
So even in defeat, the Empress Dowager is still scheming. The fight's not over.
Trying to regain control, the Empress Dowager offers Yu Qinghe tea, her favorite jasmine tea, a reward.
After all that, feels like a trap.
Wei Jingyuan's actions are described as suspicious. The Empress Dowager pressures Yu Qinghe to drink.
Don't drink the tea.
She takes a sip and immediately vomits blood. She's been poisoned.
No. Called it. The Empress Dowager is desperate.
She feigns surprise, blames an old illness, but the imperial physician arrives. Diagnosis: poison.
Caught. How does she explain this?
Frantic denials. Claims she's framed, but the Crown Prince notices something about the teacups.
Uh-oh. Evidence.
The physician confirms the poison in Yu Qinghe matches the poison in the Empress Dowager's own cup.
Checkmate. Irrefutable proof. Her lies fall apart.
She changes her story again, claims she only put in an aphrodisiac.
An aphrodisiac. Seriously, that's her defense.
Right then, the Emperor arrives, demands answers, she pleads for mercy, but Wei Jingyuan cuts in.
What does he do?
Accuses her directly. Attempted assassination of a loyal subject, pronounces the death penalty swift. Brutal.
He has that authority.
Apparently. The Emperor agrees without hesitation, orders her body disposed of. Her dying thoughts are fear of Yu Qinghe exposing more of her past crimes.
Wow. A major power player taken down. That changes everything.
Meanwhile, Prince Huai watches this, finally gets that he underestimated Yu Qinghe, and disturbingly wants her even more now.
He hasn't learned a thing, has he? Still arrogant.
The Emperor orders Yu Qinghe treated, kept in the palace to recover. Tells the Crown Prince to escort Wei Jingyuan out.
Keeping Yu Qinghe close. Does he see her value now? Or just want to control her?
Later, the Emperor and Crown Prince discuss the aphrodisiac excuse. The Crown Prince dryly suggests she used the wrong poison.
Yeah. Gallows humor.
And the Emperor reflects, Yu Qinghe is much stronger than he thought. Even he's starting to see her true depth.
The Empress Dowager's plan backfired spectacularly. Revealed her desperation, got her killed.
So Yu Qinghe recovers in the palace. Xiao attends her. We hear Wei Jingyuan carried out the execution himself, right in front of the Emperor.
Swift justice, Wei Jingyuan style.
Prince Huai sends calming incense. Yu Qinghe finds it confusing, manipulative, maybe.
Probably. He's not giving up.
He visits, pretends he just remembered her name, asks at her health, promises to visit again, tells Xiaoyi to light the incense for her sleep.
So solicitous. She sees way through it, though.
Oh yeah, her internal thoughts show she knows he's playing games and she's ready.
Good. She needs to stay sharp.
Then Wei Jingyuan visits. He's in a wheelchair now.
Wheelchair. Why? Is it real?
Mm-hmm.
Or another manipulation?
Unclear. But he still moves freely around the palace. His influence hasn't waned. Yu Qinghe thanks him for his help.
And what does he want in return this time?
He asks casually what reward would he get for helping her kill, say, another prince.
Charming. Still transactional. Still focused on violence.
But Yu Qinghe seems focused too. Only asks for help dealing with another potential enemy. Empress Dowager Xianfei.
Okay, so she has a new target list. Their agendas still align for now.
He asks her a pointed question. Why did she poison herself at the banquet, knowing he'd be there to help?
Good question. Why take that risk?
Her answer is cold, pragmatic, She needed to avenge herself against that enemy, needed the clarity.
Wow. Willing to go to extreme lengths. Calculated self-harm.
Wei Jingyuan worries his entertainment will end if she dies. Selfish concern. But she thinks neither he nor the Emperor would let her die easily now. She understands the game.
She's learning how to play them, using their motivations.
He ends with another cryptic warning. There's a price if he's part of her plans.
Always a price with him. Their relationship is a tightrope walk.
Meanwhile, back at her residence, her stepsister Yu Rulan is still being creepy and manipulative towards the unconscious Yu Qinghe.
The family threat hasn't gone away.
And then Prince Wei sneaks into her room at night, intending to assault her while she's feverish.
Ugh, he is relentless and disgusting. The danger is constant.
But just as he's about to act, Wei Jingyuan appears. Again.
His timing is uncanny. Or is he always watching?
He interrupts Wei, shows this weird, perverse interest in her vulnerable state himself, but then stops. Says he doesn't want her sick before she can get her revenge.
So he saves her, but only because her revenge plot entertains him. It's not protection, it's ownership.
And he says it. Declares she belongs to him now. Chilling assertion of control.
Possessive, controlling, dangerous.
The next morning, Yu Rulan finds Yu Qinghe's bed empty. She's shocked. Prince Wei, meanwhile, decides to marry Rulan to save face after being interrupted.
Convenient for him. Uses Rulan to cover his tracks.
The Emperor summons Xiao, worried about Yu Qinghe. Asks Yu Qinghe why she was in a side room. She cleverly says Rulan wanted to swap.
Turning Rulan's actions against her. Smart.
The Emperor is furious at Rulan for being presumptuous, chews her out. Huai tries to claim Yu Qinghe framed him.
Desperate deflection. Does the Emperor buy it?
Oh, dismisses it, apologizes to Yu Qinghe. She's really got his ear now.
Another victory for her. She's navigating this brilliantly.
Their father tries to smooth things over, offers to send Rulan away, but Yu Qinghe refuses to go home. Appeals to the Emperor for justice.
Playing it perfectly.
Yeah.
Forcing the Emperor's hand.
The Emperor wants it resolved. Proposes Huai marry Rulan. Huai objects she's a secondary daughter. Beneath him.
His arrogance is unbelievable.
Emperor threatens to strip his title if he refuses. Minister Yu objects too bad match status-wise. But Yu Qinghe, surprisingly, agrees to it.
She agrees. Why? What's her angle?
Emperor decrees it. Rulan becomes Huai's primary consort. Huai is furious but has to accept.
Wow. Yu Qinghe gets her sister married off to the guy who tried to assault her, binds him to her family in a way he hates. That's masterful manipulation. Long-term strategy.
Wei Jingyuan watches this forced marriage setup with amusement, makes some cutting remark to Huai about his tolerance.
Rubbing salt in the wound.
The crown prince warns Yu Qinghe that Prince Ju is still resentful. Offers his support. She says she's leaving the palace tomorrow. Expresses concern for the crown prince's health.
Oh.
Yeah, subtly suggests someone might be deliberately keeping him sick.
Planting seeds of doubt. Still playing the game even as she leaves.
Prince Wei is obviously seething about the forced marriage. Xiao Xuanchen makes a surprisingly insightful comment to him about his failures and Yu Qinghe's depth.
Even her enemies are starting to recognize her abilities.
Minister Yu echoes that. Notes how the Empress Dowager failed to kill her. Offers some chilling advice. Sometimes not killing someone is the best way to control them.
Foreshadowing. Recognizing Yu Qinghe is too dangerous to kill easily. Maybe better to manipulate.
Xiao comments on the Rulan Wei marriage. Yu Qinghe gives a knowing look, says true status isn't always visible, hints to Xiao their fates are linked, says she's going home.
Cryptic. Suggests she has plans and Xiao's part of them.
And Wei Jingyuan declares he's staying the night at her place.
Still asserting that possessive control, their dynamic is so unsettling.
The interaction that night is disturbing. She helps him undress, he makes suggestive comments, but again he stops short of assault, repeats his claim. She's his.
This pattern is bizarre. Control and threat, but pulling back. What's his endgame?
Meanwhile, Yu Rulan is still scheming, and the crown prince uncovers the plot against him, finds out his maid, Shotao, was poisoning him.
Yu Qinghe's hint paid off.
Shotao confesses she was forced, her family was threatened, then she commits suicide. Tragic, shows the ruthlessness everywhere.
Devastating. The collateral damage of these power games.
As Yu Qinghe leaves the palace, the crown prince sees her off, thanks her for her help, reveals the poisoning plot was discovered.
So he knows she helped him uncover it.
She gives him more cryptic advice. Protect what's yours. Internally, she's thinking about rebellions, the bigger picture.
She's thinking steps ahead, setting pieces on the board.
Xiao worries the crown prince has feelings for her, wants to marry her. Yu Qinghe dismisses it, says the palace is too dangerous.
She's not wrong about the danger. Is she truly uninterested or just focused on her own plans?
As her carriage leaves, ambush, assassins attack,
No. Who now?
and the weapons they're using, blades gifted by the crown prince.
What? The crown prince betrayed her after she just helped him.
Looks like it. Stunning treachery. Wei Jingyuan's Shadow Dragon army arrives, led by Chen Chengping. But then Wei Jingyuan orders them to retreat.
Retreat? Why? What is he playing at?
Yu Qinghe has to defend herself, fierce archery. Then Wei Jingyuan returns, orders real arrows this time. Seems more concerned about saving her than Xiaoi.
His priorities are warped. Values her as his interesting possession over her loyal maid.
Yu Qinghe gets injured. Wei Jingyuan shows actual concern. She thanks his subordinate. He remarks he underestimated her again.
He seems genuinely attached in his own twisted way.
Despite the attack, Yu Qinghe kills all the assassins herself with her arrows. She's resolute, says she'll go straight to the emperor for justice. Wei Jingyuan tends to her injury, very possessive.
She survived again. Incredible resilience. But the betrayal. Who sent them, really?
Turns out it was Li Gugong, Empress Dowager Xianfei's brother, and Xiao Xuanchen's uncle.
Ah, connected to her original enemies. The past is definitely not dead.
Wei Jingyuan is impatient for revenge, wants to go with her to the palace. Li Gugong, meanwhile, is confident he won't be caught, dismisses Wei Jingyuan's power.
Underestimating them both. A fatal mistake, probably.
Prince Wei tries to spin it as just a personal vendetta against Yu Qinghe, questions the assassin's weapons, still trying to minimize the political implications.
He never learns. Always protecting himself.
So, wrapping up this intense deep dive, what really stands out, we've seen Yu Qinghe's incredible transformation, haven't we? From this powerless concubine facing death to a truly formidable player.
Absolutely. Navigating palace plots, family betrayal, deadly enemies. It's extraordinary. What's striking is how she constantly shatters expectations. That ordinary girl label, she uses it, leverages her intelligence, that surprising archery skill, and sheer grit to survive and drive her own agenda.
She really embodies that idea of perceived weakness being a kind of camouflage, doesn't she?
Totally. And then there's Wei Jingyuan. That relationship is so complex, so disturbing. His motives seem entirely self-serving amusement, chaos. It leaves you wondering, what is their bond? Is it purely transactional or something darker, more tangled?
It really makes you question the nature of power and how people wield it.
Definitely. This story shows how people find strength where you least expect it, how being seen as ordinary can be a powerful disguise. Yu Qinghe's journey forces you to question your own assumptions about people, doesn't it? To see the potential resilience hidden beneath the surface.
Which brings us to our final thought for you. What does it really mean to be ordinary? In a world so quick to judge based on appearances, how can something seen as weakness actually become a source of surprising strength when facing down powerful opponents? Maybe think about the power dynamics you see around you, the potential hidden in plain sight. You might be surprised.